the first thing is like, so whenever we are learning Salesforce, always have one thing in mind, like Salesforce is multi-tenant environment. Always have one thing in mind, like Salesforce is multi-tenant environment. Always have one thing in mind, Salesforce is multi-tenant environment. So basically, what is this multi-tenant environment? Multi-tenant in the sense multiple users. So multiple users can be present in the same instance. So what all users are there, you can get a list of all that users as well. So basically this is the setup menu. If you logged in into Salesforce, so basically this is the setup menu. So here you can search for users and get a list of all the users that are present in this instance. So users. So here you will get list of all the users. If you want to create a new user, you can create a new user as well. So if I want to add my friend, I can add my friend easily. So adding a user sounds easy, but actually it has many scenarios. There are many few scenarios we should think about it. So so that's why it is, as you can add multiple users, it is called as Salesforce to be multi-tenant environment. So as there are 10 users, so 10 users can create their data. But what about the security of the data? If there are 10 users, so user 1 to user 10, let's say user 1 logs in and creates few data. User 2 can log in, user 2 can create the data. But what about the security of their data? If user 1 has created few data, so that data is visible to user 2, and same for user 2. If user 2 has created some data, whether that data is visible to user 1, so we can configure this. And all these scenarios arise because Salesforce is multi-tenant environment. So always remember, while learning any concept, don't have only one thing, like I am the only user. Think about multiple users and then try to understand that concept. So it will give you a better clarity always. So this is one terminology. And yeah, there is one more thing, like, so this is the setup menu, and this screen is called as the setup screen. So what if I am onto this different screen and I want to switch back to the setup screen? Because we'll have to switch back and forth between the setup screen and another screens frequently. So you should be aware of that process. So let me tell you like what's that process. So first let me go on to some another screen, and then I'll tell you how to switch back and forth between the screens. So why this screen is called as the setup screen? Because we have the menu here, setup menu here. So this is the menu where we can do all the configurations. So if you remember, we have named few of the tools, like there are few automation tools available that help us to build the functionality without writing any piece of code. So all that things can be configured through this setup menu, and that's why this screen is called as the setup screen. That's the reason this screen is called as the setup screen. So let's say I am here onto this screen. Here I cannot see any setup menu. On this screen there is no left menu. So how to go from this screen to this screen? How to switch and come to this screen? So here in the top right corner you have a setting icon. Once you click onto that, you get setup option. Click that option and you will be onto setup screen. So these are the basic steps you should always remember, and that will help you to switch back to the setup screen. So right click on the gear icon and setup. You will be on to setup screen. So any doubts, any questions? Hello.
No.
Okay, okay. Sumant, any questions, any queries? Can you hear me, Sumant?
Yeah, no, no questions, please.
Okay. Okay. So these are the basic steps that you should follow while switching between the uh, original screen and the setup screen. And so basically, there are two versions of Salesforce. There are two versions of Salesforce. The one that we are seeing right now, this is the lightning version. The one that we are seeing right now, that version is called as the Salesforce lightning versions. Salesforce lightning version. And there is one more version which is called as the Salesforce classic version. So how to switch back from classic to lightning and lightning to classic? So here there is a avatar icon to the top right. Click on it, and once you click here, you will get an option switch to Salesforce classic. So once you hit this, you will be into classic. So switch to Salesforce classic. So this is the classic version. So there are two versions. First is the Salesforce lightning version. Second is the Salesforce classic version. So these are the two versions. So the journey of Salesforce started with the Salesforce classic. Salesforce classic is the old version. Salesforce lightning is the latest version. It's the new version, Salesforce lightning. So these are the two different versions, and as the version changes, functionality, or you can say the capabilities and the support of the different version varies. So let's say Salesforce offers you 10 functionalities. So out of 10 functionalities, some functionality may be supported in classic, some functionality may be supported in lightning, some functionalities may be supported in both of them. So what Salesforce suggests is start using lightning version. Salesforce suggests start using lightning version because there is some reason behind that. Salesforce Classic was the first version, and then they introduced Salesforce Lightning because it was the request of the end users of the Salesforce. Like there should be some great UI, it should increase the user adoption, user engagement. So that's why they came up with Salesforce Lightning. Salesforce Classic is still there. It is not going anywhere. It will not be deprecated. Its support will be there always. But the functionalities are more supported in Lightning. There are few benefits of the Lightning version. So just to tell you one difference. So here you can see the bell icon where you get notifications under this bell icon. But this concept is not present in Salesforce Classic. If you have to notify something, then you will be notified via email. So that again, you will have to switch back and forth between your Salesforce and email. And that's why they have introduced this notifications in Lightning. If you see in Classic, there is no such concept of notifications. If you want to notify, email is the only way. So that's why Salesforce suggests you to start using Lightning. And there is one more reason behind that. So basically, in a year, Salesforce gives you 3 to 4 releases. In a year, Salesforce gives you 3 to 4 releases. And in that releases, Salesforce gives you many new functionalities. Or if there are some existing bug fixes, Salesforce will fix that bugs. And then it declares few dates, 2 months or 3 months before. It declares few dates. So on this particular date and timing, your instance will be upgraded automatically. So when Salesforce gives you few releases, your instance is upgraded automatically. So it is not by your choice. So I don't want to upgrade my instance. You cannot have that option. That is not supported. Whenever Salesforce gives you a release, your instance will be upgraded automatically. It is not like a mobile update. So if WhatsApp is giving us some update, then it's your choice whether to update the app or not. It is not something like that. Here, your instance is upgraded automatically. So in that release, many new features are supported in Lightning. Many features are coming that are supported in Lightning. And that's why Salesforce is suggesting you to start using Lightning version. And there are many benefits as well. So the first is we can completely see the UI difference. This is the notification. So this reduces the back and forth. I don't have to switch between my mailbox and Salesforce again and again. So this increases the user interaction, user engagement. So these are the benefits. Again, from the functionality point of view, many functionalities are supported here.
I have a question.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what kind of notifications we get usually? Like just
So,
the updates or anything else?
so notification in the sense, let's say someone has assigned you some task. If you want a notification of that, let's say a
Okay.
case was created by someone, a customer, and now that case is assigned to you. If someone has commented on that case, so you cannot always go on that case because there can be hundreds of cases. You cannot every time go on onto each and every case and then check like, okay, so this update has been made to this case and what's the update on that another case. So you cannot always go back and check onto that 100 records. So if something is changed, so you can do that configuration to get the notifications. So what is the change, what's that case number, what change is done, you can easily get in that notification. This is just one example. Likewise, if you want, you can configure it for another scenarios as well.
Okay.
Getting it? Is your question answered?
Yeah, I got.
Any more questions?
No.
Okay. Okay. You, Kanti, any questions, any doubts?
No.
Okay. So this is the reason why we have two versions of Salesforce Classic and Salesforce Lightning. And so there are some cloud computing models. First, we'll discuss that. and then we'll discuss more on the versions. So so here these are few cloud computing models. So software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So it is all depending on like what you manage versus what the platform manages for you. So based on that, these are the three different types of models we have. So software as a service, what does software as a service says? So here, if you have seen this complete diagram, there are two annotations, one in orange and one in some green color. So the things that are in orange, it is like managed by others in the sense you can consider platform, it's managed by the platform. And the things that are in green, it is managed by you. So we'll see with the help of an example. So let's take an example of Cisco WebEx. It's a platform for online meetings. So you get a link where you have to join the meeting. You simply take use of the platform. You simply consume the benefits of that platform. You don't have to think about like this meeting is getting hosted how, what's the servers behind that, and what's the process behind that, what if the server gets crashed, what if there is some network failure or some network issue. So you don't have to think about that. Everything is managed by that platform. Everything is managed by that Cisco WebEx itself. You only have to join the meeting, take benefit of that platform. You can mute, unmute, you can record, you can talk, you can screen share. So these are the benefits of the platform. You can take that benefits, join the meeting, have a conversation, and then you can drop off the meeting. So these are the benefits of the platform that you get. Remaining complete things is managed by the WebEx itself. Like what if the servers are crashed, how the communication is happening, how screen share is happening, how to handle it for different OS, what kind of middleware we are using, what if there are some IP restriction, how to store the recording. So all that stuff is taken care by the platform itself. You don't have to think about that. So if you have such a model where things are taken care by the platform itself, then such a application is classified under software as a service. Such application is classified under software as a service. So that is software as a service. The next is, the example of software as a service is the same, the Cisco WebEx. Platform as a service. So if you see in platform as a service, so application and data is managed by you. Remaining things is managed by the platform. So runtime, middleware, OS, server, storage, networking, everything is managed by the platform, but you have to manage application and data. So an example of this is like the Heroku. So Heroku is just a place where you can host your applications. Application is built by you, but it is just a place where you can host so that it is publicly available. You can deploy your code to that instance, and then that instance, or the one who comes off there after deployment, they can make use of your application. So basically, Heroku is just a platform where you can deploy your code, but at the end, that application is built by you. So let's say if I've built some COVID tracker, so that COVID tracker is application built by me. If something goes wrong in that COVID tracker, it's my responsibility to fix that. It's not the platform responsibility. It's not the Heroku responsibility. The job of Heroku is just to make sure like that application is accessible by everyone over the internet. So the job of Heroku here is to make the application available all the time. It should not have any downtime. Whatever is the server, storage, networking, uh, that application should be available all the time. If something goes wrong in the application, it's your responsibility. The developer of the application should bear that responsibility to fix that. And also, if you are generating some data, so, or if you are creating some data out of that application, then it's your responsibility to manage that data. So as a, if you, let's say I'm building some COVID tracker, then if I want to do some storage, like let's say if I'm giving some functionality to download the report, so today there were this many cases and tomorrow there were these many cases, so I'm giving the functionality to download the complete report in an Excel format. So it's again, I am giving that functionality, it's a part of my application, so I have to manage that. The system will only, the Heroku will only make sure that you can use the application. But if something goes wrong in the application, you in the sense the developer has to fix that. So here, platform as a service is like you have to manage your application and data. Remaining things are taken care by platform, because platform is the way that is making your application accessible to the end users. Then you have to take care of your application, and if you are generating some data out of that application, then you have to take care of it. You have to write, you have to manage, you have to see how the things will work in application and data. You're getting it right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is platform as a service. The last type of model is infrastructure as a service. The last type of model is infrastructure as a service that we'll discuss now. So in infrastructure as a service, you can see like you have more things to manage. Along with application and data, you have to manage runtime, middleware, and operating system as well. And some of the things are taken care by the platform, like virtualization, server, storage, networking. So we'll take an example to understand this. So basically, right now in the market, there are few uh, sites are available where you can make use of the resources on demand, like AWS. So AWS allows you to use the resources on demand. So on demand, let's take an example like for to do some heavy computation, I need a machine for 2 hours. To do some heavy computation, I need a machine for 2 hours. So as that machine is not frequently used by me, definitely I'll not purchase. So I'll request it online. So I want a system having this configuration. So what all configurations are there? You can specify like this should be the operating system, and this should be the configuration. It should do this amount of computation. This should be the clock speed, RAM, and whatever hard disk. You can specify that, and then you can make use of that computer on demand as you need, and then you will have to pay it on the hourly basis. So such kind of systems are available in the market. So once the system is given to you, you can make use of it. If you want to change the operating system, if you are building some application by making use of that system, if you are generating some data, if you want to change the operating system, so if you are building some application, how that application is running, so all that stuff is taken care by you. The job of platform is to only make sure like you are getting the access to their system, and they are able to provide the configuration that is requested by you. That's it. So they will provide you over a network, there will be some servers, there will be some virtualization. So all that stuff is taken care by the platform: virtualization, server, storage, networking. Once the system is given to you, if you have requested it for 2 hours, and if once the system comes to you, it's your responsibility how to make use of the system. If you are building some application, that application is working as expected. If there is some data, that data should be correct. How to download the data, how to upload the data, how to manage the data, you have to take care of it. So AWS is one example of infrastructure as a service. So this is how the different cloud computing models are there: software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So any doubts here?
No, no.
No, indeed.
So now there is a question for you. So Salesforce is also one of the cloud computing. So Salesforce will fall under which model out of these three? This is a question for you.
Software as a service and platform as a service.
How?
Like uh, Salesforce offers the platform to build our applications and deploy our code and access their what is it software and the platform.
So can you just give me an example, like when it will be termed as software as a service and when it will be termed as platform as a service?
Like software as a service, it already has some inbuilt apps and features which we can use and configure it. Right? So,
Mhm.
and the platform as a service, we can build our new application or and manage our data and customize uh, the already existing application according to our requirements.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah,
And
and the
Mhm. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and the server storage and all those things are not managed by us. So the Salesforce offers all those things.
And what
Platform
about
as a service.
infrastructure as a service?
Infrastructure as a service, I don't.
So it means Salesforce doesn't fall under that model.
Yeah, infrastructure as a service also. Yeah, for the Salesforce, uh, like we have different types of subscriptions, and we'll pay them based on our usage and our requirements. So
But do you think in infrastructure as a service, so you have to manage OS, do you think Salesforce allows you to manage operating system?
no,
Okay. Okay. So what are your thoughts currently? You there?
who me?
Kranti, Kranti. Are you there, Kranti?
I think it is a platform as a service, and it may
Why?
falls into infrastructure as a service because it is giving the UI, like the Salesforce is giving some tools to develop. Software as a service is ready to use service, right? So I think it doesn't comes under software as a service.
And what about infrastructure as a service?
Might be because I have no knowledge about the Salesforce. As far I understood, I'm thinking it comes under platform as a service.
Only platform as a service?
Oh, sorry.
Only platform as a service? It falls under only one model?
Uh, as far as I understood.
Okay, okay. So let me tell you. So Salesforce falls under software as a service, and platform as a service. It does not fall under infrastructure as a service. So there are scenarios based on like how you are using Salesforce. It can be decided either it is a software as a service or platform as a service or both of them. But Salesforce never falls under infrastructure as a service because Salesforce never allows you, Salesforce never provide you on-demand resources. Salesforce never tell you like what kind of system do you want, what operating system should be there, what configuration should it have. So Salesforce never does that kind of services, and that's why infrastructure as a service does not is not a model for Salesforce. It's either software as a service or platform as a service. So, so Salesforce has few inbuilt tools available with us, which you can directly make use of it. So there are different automation tools, as I said. So that automation tools, if you are making use of that automation tools, then Salesforce will be termed as software as a service. If you have purchased licenses from the Salesforce and if you are making use of only the functionalities of Salesforce, if you have not written, if you have not built any custom application, if you are not building some apps on top of Salesforce, and if you are simply using the functionalities that are offered by the Salesforce, then it is termed as software as a service model. If you have Salesforce and if you have built some custom application on top of it, if you are generating some data, if you are managing some data with the application that you have created, if you are doing something, then here you have built some application on top of Salesforce, and that's why it will fall under platform as a service. So these are the scenarios when your Salesforce will be classified as software as a service or platform as a service. It can be both as well.
What kind of functionalities Salesforce offers as software as service?
So software as a service, there are many automation tools available. There are different clouds available. There are different, as we discussed, like Einstein is available. Einstein in the sense you can do the sentiment recognition. You can have some AI kind of thing. So all these are the features. All these are the platform capabilities. So once you have Salesforce, you can make use of it. So that are the offerings of the platform. So in that scenario, it falls under software as a service. It can be both as well. So if you are making use of the standard features and if you have built some application, then it falls under both software as a service and platform as a service. So any doubts here? Any questions?
Which is more commonly used, Salesforce as a platform as a service or software as a service?
So it depends on your requirements. If you are making heavy use, if you have built n number of applications based on your requirement, so it completely depends on the requirement, how you are making use of Salesforce, what are your requirements, and requirements again depends on the business, what kind of business is there. So it completely depends on that factors. So definitely at some point in time you feel like I want some more customizations, I want to build this application. So at that point you can build, and at that point it will be falling under platform as a service.
Okay.
Okay. Any other doubts?
No.
Okay. So this was all about the different cloud computing models, and Salesforce falls into the first two. So so yeah, we have seen all these stuff today. So Salesforce is multi-tenant environment. Always remember this. We have seen how to switch back and forth between the setup screen, the two different versions, and these cloud computing models. So I think today's first session, this is enough for today. So we'll continue from tomorrow. So what do you think? For today, this is enough, I guess.
Yeah, okay, you wish every day we will be having class at the same time, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Can you just uh, make it early, like it's like what to say, hour before or 2 hours before?
Actually, few batches are going on, so that's
I
why.
can't hear you properly.
So actually, few batches are going on,
So yeah,
so that's why cannot be rescheduled.
okay, okay, that's fine.
So once they end, once the batches will end, so then we can probably think to reschedule.
Your voice is breaking. I can't hear you properly.
Can you hear me now?
No, not really.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
So
it's okay.
few batches are going on an hour or 2 hours before. So that's why right now it is not possible to reschedule. So once
Okay.
that batches are finished, then we can probably reschedule.
So we can prepone, right? Okay.
Yeah, within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe, so it will be completed. Like, ongoing batches will be completed.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Thanks.
Yeah. So this being a first session, so that's why we are finishing it up early. So going forward, we'll have for 1 hour daily, because if we start talking about Lightning versus Classic, we still have discussion pending on that. So there will be many questions, many things. So again, the first session will be very heavy for you, and that's why here, uh, for today we'll pause this. For today we are good. You can go through the concepts that we have discussed again. You can revise it, and then we'll discuss about the versions tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks. Thanks.